where to put their money is our next guest. Okay, his name is Alex Kamau. He's a business consultant. He's here. He's been here many times before. Alex, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you, Eric.
You're well?
Yes, I'm well.
Very good. Just tell us, yesterday, how much was it going for? CBK rate?
CBK rate 131 against US dollar.
131 to the D,
Yes,
to the dollar.
Yes, to the dollar.
What? Hey, and this is coming from a high of? Or a low of?
Yes, from a high of about 160 shillings per dollar. Per dollar.
Yeah, there it is. US dollar CBK rate 130.4.
0.4.
That was as of yesterday. Yeah.
The pound 162. Euro 138. City unaonaje maneno?
You know me, these things confuse me.
Completely. Very good. That's why Alex is here.
Yes.
Alex, welcome to the conversation.
Thank you very much.
At least City is not confused
Yes.
when he goes to Cape Verde and mines proverbs and brings them.
No.
And for example, he will not be confused when he tells us the system of government in Cape Verde is semi-presidential, autonomous, quasi.
Unitary, semi-presidential republic, just that you understand.
Unitary, semi-presidential
Yes.
republic. What does that mean?
Well, one, unitary means they're united, just so that you understand.
Semi is half. And the presidential is president.
The way this thing works, you know, many countries have a vice president, then some have a prime minister, then you mention. These fellows have a president, prime minister, done, dusted. Story meisha hapo.
No parliament.
Oh, parliament. Parliament. But you see, the prime minister, it's like they have what you may call a parliamentary and a presidential system all combined into one.
It's a thing BBI was trying to give us.
Yes, it's because the prime minister does have power. Okay.
And the president is elected.
Yes, and the president also does have power.
Right.
So that's why they call it what they call it.
BBI, This is where these guys had gone.
Umeona hiyo kitu?
I can see Paul Mwangi, we'll ask him. Did you study Cape Verde? Or did you write the Cape Verde constitution, Paul Mwangi?
And by the way, talking of currencies and the yo-yoing of the shilling against the dollar, their currency is called a Cape Verdean escudo. That's their shilling. The shilling is called an escudo.
Escudo.
Yes.
Okay.
Their shilling is called an escudo.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, their dollar is called an escudo.
Okay.
The proverb.
Okay.
Okay. The dog's happy dream produces no meat.
The dog's happy dream produces no meat. Alex, what's the interpretation?
The dog's happy dream produces no meat. It means that faith without action is dead. That no matter how much you believe in the happening of something, dreams don't work themselves. You have to work the dream for it to work.
Very good. This proverb of today might as well have been sponsored by ICEA Lion.
Yes.
Plan, bila action. Bure.
Activate your plan.
Activate your plan. Okay. So, the shilling is behaving like that.
Yes.
The market is behaving the way it's behaving. We saw the headline again. One of the headlines in the papers yesterday was talking about the rates.
Yes.
Okay. And the lending rates to the government. Today's headline is talking retail investors overtake parastatals and insurance companies in buying government paper. That's T-bills and bonds. So retail investors were saying it's CT, me, and Do, and now Alex, of course. Now you're an institution. You know, big time.
Yes.
But also, yesterday, there was the issue of the latest T-bill and the rates and the way they've dropped. They've dropped to the lowest they've been during how many years? And this is also having another impact there. So what is that's happening with our, with our currency, and then we'll come into our markets.
Okay.
Why is the shilling dropping? Or gaining? Okay. Why is the shilling gaining?
Yes, the reason the shilling is gaining is because there are three uses to money. One is speculative. We have precautionary and transactionary. The reason the shilling is gaining this time around is because of the first one, the speculative use of money. That there are some people investors who hold money, waiting for a good opportunity for them to buy things when they are cheap. In this case, investors had hoarded dollars, waiting for the Kenyan government when it would be going to the market to buy dollars so that we can repay the 2 billion US Eurobond. Though that did not happen, because instead of the Kenyan government sourcing for dollars internally, they went externally. So the people who had hoarded money in the name of speculating, they had to release the money into the market. And currently we have the quantity of dollar or supply of the dollar in the market. It is quite high. So, and that's the reason, because of the forces of demand and supply, the supply is high and the demand is not high. That's why the dollar has received a beating by the Kenyan currency. This situation is supposed to be very temporary, is because as time goes by, Kenya is a net importer. So the stock that we have for dollars, we will continue to use, and with time we will deplete it. And once we deplete it, we go back to square one. And actually, also by the time we are going to June 2024, when we will be repaying the 2 billion USD Eurobond, the money will vanish. These dollars that we have will vanish. We could be having it somewhere, and it is giving us a false hope that it is money we have for good. But it's money that the countdown has started the time has started to tick. It's only a matter of time we give out that money.
Okay,
I don't get it.
Hang on a minute. I'm sorry. So what? It sounds as though you're saying
Yes.
that this miraculous thing that has happened over the last 1.5 months,
Yes.
whereby the dollar has done the shilling has done the thing. So now we're looking at 130.
Yes.
That it's artificial.
It is artificial.
How can that be artificial? Because what you're insinuating here is that, so it would look as though there's a lot of dollars in the market. That's why the shilling then has gained on it.
Yes.
But that is not the case, and that it's only temporary.
Yes.
What would make those two things happen? Artificial and temporary. Why?
I would say it is artificial because these dollars that we have not earned those dollars. Actually, we have borrowed. If you would say it is the productivity of our economy that has increased and we are doing more exports, that by doing more exports we are getting more foreign currency, then we would say it is sustainable. But this time around, it's money that we have borrowed in terms of Eurobond, and it's only a matter of time that we give out that money. But as any other person, it's called behavioral science or behavioral finance, because we have some money somewhere, some dollars somewhere. It is giving us this false perception that we are safe. But it's only a matter of time. By June 2024, we release the money, and then the panic is likely to hit the market.
Who's releasing the money in June?
In June, as we pay the maiden Eurobond that we procured in the year 2024.
I thought we've already paid 1.5 of it. And the other 500 we've been paying dog.
I wouldn't say we have paid, because the due date to pay is 24th June. There was some allegations that we might decide to pay to buy it back before the due date. But to the best of my knowledge is that we are waiting for the due date to repay. And actually, there would be no good reason for us to repay early, because this money that we have, we can still invest it for a month and get some good returns on it.
But let me ask this question.
Yes.
Beyond the reasons that you've given,
yes,
could there be any other reasons why it is the shilling seems to have resurrected and has gained strength against the dollar?
Absolutely no any other reason, because the main reason, the one that we would say it is something positive, is if we have increased our productivity, because we have not seen the GDP of Kenya rise skyrocket within a month. We have not seen the fundamentals of the country change within this period of time. The only factor that is new is the issue of the Eurobond. That's the only factor that has triggered what we are seeing. And when we ask why also the Kenyan shilling has gained against Uganda, is because the Kenyan shilling has gained against US dollar. Ugandans, instead of buying US dollars directly using exchanging Ugandan shillings to dollar, they decide first to buy Kenya shillings, convert Ugandan shillings to Kenya shillings, then they procure the US dollar. Because currently the Kenyan shilling is procuring more dollars than we were doing before. So they would, any other rational, reasonable investor would avoid converting Ugandan shillings directly
to the dollar.
To the dollar. You first convert to Kenya shillings, then using Kenya shillings, you buy more dollars.
So essentially, because of this, then the demand for the Kenyan shilling in some sectors has grown.
And that is very artificial, because the way now the Kenyan shilling is gaining against the Ugandan shilling. It's not because we are doing more trade. It's not because we are importing more goods and services to Uganda. It's only because they are using our currency to procure the dollar.
Let me perhaps segue a little bit and then give reason as to why I asked the question.
Yes.
If, let's say, for instance, let's take this hypothetical situation where it seems it would appear apparent that we may actually default on the Eurobond. What would that do with regards to the confidence of lending institutions, the global lending institutions, and the partners who we trade with?
In the event that
there is a likelihood that we are going to default.
Yes. Our credit rating would have received a beating.
Precisely. And then what would that do to the shilling?
That would weaken the shilling.
Okay.
Yes.
So are we saying that the current situation that we are in, such a threat does not exist?
It does not exist.
Why?
Because we have already gone to the market, and the market has been very generous to us and has given us money, both locally and internationally.
How is that a good thing? Because if we've borrowed more, and we've borrowed in dollar, and we are paying in dollars, and as you say, the situation we're in now is artificial. So the time when we'll be required to pay, the artificial situation that we're in will have disappeared. And we'll have gone back to what one may refer to as the factory settings of the shilling having done a belly up, isn't it? So how exactly will we have benefited from this whole thing? Because it's like we've jumped from the fire. Is it the frying pan into the fire?
Exactly.
Yes.
Tumekunywa tu nini paracetamol.
Yes.
The headache.
Now,
brain surgery is still needed. So is it possible then for some of the things that we are seeing, if you're talking about the current situation being founded on in artificial nature, really, because we borrowed money to pay off this loan, right? Part of it at least. And then suddenly you have all this money in the market. But this money is borrowed money. It's institutions who put in this money in order for you to then be clean on that, on the record book. So far, correct?
Yes.
However, we are seeing resultant effects of that money. For example, what we're being told, fuel prices have come down for the 5th month in a row, can be attributed to now the gains that the Kenya shilling has made.
That's true.
As a result of that, we will see, the cost of things actually then coming down, because the cost of fuel also will come down, right?
Yes.
Can you say that these gains that are being made then can still be done on a foundation of an artificial nature?
Yes.
Can that happen? Because these in some way will be long term.
Yes. The issue of the fuel coming down and some prices of goods coming down, because basically we have seen inflation come down from a high of about 9% to about 6% as we speak. Inflation has come down, so meaning the prices of goods are coming down. There are two things. There are two things to that, and one, which is a bit to the negative, is because there is no money in circulation. There is no money in circulation. So what is happening, producers, once they produce their goods and services, they are not able to get good demand for their goods and services. So what happens? They decide now to lower prices. Again, the issue of forces of supply and demand. Right now, people and generally in the economy, everyone is crying, there's no money, there's no money.
What does that mean when you say there's no money in circulation?
Yeah. But the
Sijui
reason
kona
why the
mia moja.
Kenyan shilling
Hapana,
is-
sina mia moja. Last week nilikuwa na mia moja, leo sina mia moja. It's because you're broke. It's not.
Yes, yes.
So when you say there is no,
Where's the money gone?
or there is a reduction,
Yes,
if there is a reduction in circulation of money,
yes.
is this some garden variety reduction, or is it one of these hair-raising reductions where we should actually tremble and fear in trepidation as we consider a terrible outcome? Because if there is money and we say it's not in circulation, so where has the money gone?
Yeah.
It's a good question. It's a deliberate effort by the government. Number one, the government, through the fiscal policies that it has come up with, it has increased the interest. It has increased taxes. It has increased taxes. For instance, we saw the high tax band for pay as you earn move from 30% to 35%. And as much as people would think that the 35% tax band applies to people who are earning above 800,000,
percentage of people.
not really, not really. What actually happens if you are a second employer somewhere? If you are a second employer somewhere, if you are a secondary employee somewhere, like myself, I teach in various universities. So every other university that I teach as a part-time, I'm considered a secondary employee. If I'm earning 100,000 there, for instance, I'm deducted that 5% because I'm a secondary employee. Secondary employees, anywhere, they are deducted pay as you earn using the highest tax band.
Oh, very quick. Yes, so it's not only for those who are earning above 800,000.
No.
It's also
Yes.
to anybody who is a secondary employee.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So
yes.
it's more people who've been hit by that 35%.
Very many people.
Sawa,
Very many people.
tuendelee.
So
We've also seen the introduction of the housing levy,
yes, the house
1.5%.
Yes.
We're coming into health.
Yes.
So basically, more and more money is getting out of your income.
NSS 6%.
Okay.
So and so at the end of the day, the purchasing power of Kenyans has been highly reduced.
Impacted, okay.
Highly reduced. So that's number one. Number two is the issue of government spending. The government has actually reduced its spending, and the economy grows when the government spends money.
Doctor, you have to explain, what do you mean the government has reduced its spending? Is it that we've cut our budget? Is it that we are no longer spending what we used to spend within the various ministries? What is it?
That's true. Like now, the budget that we are looking forward to be read in the by June this year, we are looking forward at a budget of a proposed budget of 4.2 trillion. Out of that 4.2 trillion, 1.2 trillion will go towards repaying the debts. 1.2. So we are left with 3 trillion. Out of the 3 trillion, 2.3 trillion will go towards recurrent expenditure. So paying the salaries and paying maintenance of various assets of the government. It's only about 800 billion that will be used to do the infrastructure development expenditure. So whenever the government reduces the amount that it spends in development expenditure, building dams, building bridges, building all that, then, and it is using more money to repay the debts, 1.2 trillion out of the country.
But Daktari, this 4 trillion is aspirational. It doesn't exist.
Yes.
we know how much we collect.
That's true.
Just about 2.
Yes. So this phantom 2 point something that we're talking about actually doesn't exist. So we're going to be spending money we don't have.
We have always done that for the longest. We have even the budget that we read, the one that is operational, 2023 to 2024.
Yeah.
Same story.
So basically, if you're still fulizing, but then you've reduced on
The amount.
the cultural establishment that you're going to. You fuliza, but then instead of going every evening, you only go once a week. Now that bar will have to close. Okay, so no, sorry, not bar. That
Cultural establishment.
will